Tom Clark's 6M podcast is a Boink Studios production. And now, on with the show.
Hey, what is up? Welcome to Tom Clark's 6M podcast. I'm your host, Tom Clark, and in this episode, I'm joined by co-host Phil Lindsey.
I'm not a great big fan of baseball, kids. Just not. Never have been. Takes like 12 hours to watch a game. I don't know. I don't have 3 days to watch a game. I'm not doing it. I've been told the game is sped up now, that they have to go faster on the pitches or something like that. Because when I was growing up, it would take the pitcher, facing the batter, took like 3 hours. I don't know. What are we doing? Like, guy takes a swing, and it's a strike or it's a ball. Well, then before he he steps off, he has to adjust his gloves and his elbow pads and his hat. He's got to touch it. He's got to adjust his junk, and he's got to make sure his pants are right. He's got to take a couple practice swings, and then the pitcher's got to step off the mound. He's got to adjust his hat, and he stands there, waiting. He shakes off the signals, throws the ball again, and then repeat everything that just happened. I'm like, yeah, there's no way I would ever go. Like, if you guys grew up with baseball and you love it now, good on you. It's not for me. However, I do enjoy baseball movies. It's weird. I don't know why, but I enjoy baseball movies depending on what they are, and especially when it comes to comedies. And today we are talking about, of course, Major League. Arguably the best funny baseball movie of all time. And I know what you're thinking. There's Bull Durham, Tom, and there might be a couple of others. Fine. For me, pound for pound, Major League, I think is the funniest baseball comedy around. But you know what? We're going to get into it here today. Maybe your opinions will vary. We'll all find out together. But first, let's do this. Major League is a 1989 American sports comedy film written and directed by David S. Ward. The film was produced by Chris Chesser and Irby Smith and released in the United States on April 7th, 1989 by Paramount Pictures. Set in Cleveland, the story follows a newly assembled Cleveland Indians roster intentionally built to fail as a collection of aging veterans, untested rookies, and volatile personalities are brought together by the team's new owner, who plans to move the franchise to Miami once attendance drops. Instead, the players rally, find their rhythm, and defy expectations as they push toward a surprise run at the division championship. Spoiler alert! So the film's budget was $11 million. The box office for this film was $75 million. And that is your lowdown for Major League. So, Phil, we have referenced Major League, I think, quite a few times here on the show, but we've never actually reviewed the film. How long has it been since you watched it? And how many times have you seen it? What's your opinion of it as we kick this off here today?
I haven't seen it in a minute, but it's one of those movies that stays on TV constantly, constantly on Turner Classic TV, constantly on like TBS or TNT or one of those channels. So I've seen it a lot growing up. It's honestly like one of the greatest baseball movies of all time. And I'm like you, I've never been a big baseball fan. Sox fan. Why did I say that? Cubs fan.
Oh, man. Am I going to have to edit that out so you don't get in trouble?
Cubs fan. Man, my brother is a big Cubs fan. Southsider. Been a Sox guy for my entire life.
Right.
But yeah, baseball is just one of those things. It's more fun to see it in person because there's the experience of going to a ballpark and watching baseball. But watching at home, it's boring. And I feel like baseball movies are better because they cut out a lot of the boring stuff about baseball. It's like a lot of the stuff is montages. It's all fast paced. You get to see all of the big plays and everything. It's not like waiting for something to happen.
Sure.
Like regular. But Major League is such a big part of like the public's consciousness when it comes to baseball. It's so iconic. There's so many references. I mean, I just talked about the Cubs. The Cubs recently, within the past 5 years, won a World Series. Finally won a World Series. Big moment for a lot of Chicagoans. They played the Cleveland Indians, if you remember. And
Crazy.
So, yeah. So I remember, like I said, because I'm not a Cubs fan, but my brother is. And so this meant a lot to my brother finally getting to a World Series, finally getting a chance to win. And so, I let a lot of Cubs fans like him have it. I'm like, yeah, great. I was happy for them. I had no dog in the race, but I had the game on. And if people know, I am not a fan of LeBron James. Not a fan. And so I'm sitting there watching the game. It cuts to LeBron in the box. If you remember, the year that the Cubs won, I believe that was 2016.
Sounds right.
That was the same year that the Cleveland Cavaliers won a championship. That was the year that LeBron brought the first championship to Cleveland. So they're in the box. Cleveland Cavaliers are up there excited. And so during this game, it cuts to LeBron flexing, and he's just like, yeah, go Cleveland. He's up. I was just like, nah. Chicago Cubs cannot let this happen. They cannot let this stand. They've got to beat this team. They have to. I can't let this. If I have to watch this guy celebrating with the Cleveland Indians, like he's this big Cleveland Indians fan, I might just blow my brains out. You just cannot do this. So, well, of course, when they won, I didn't bandwagon this thing and go, I'm a Cubs fan now. Hooray for the Cubs. But I did post, yes, get out of here, Cleveland. I'm not trying to hear none of that. F Cleveland, F Jobu, F Roger Dorn, F Usher's U-Chain, F Cleveland. And so, all of these things I thought about immediately were Major League references. I know it took a minute to get back there from this story. If you guys are still with me.
All right.
All of these references I thought about at the time of the Cleveland Indians were from this movie. I couldn't tell you anything about like the Cleveland Indians as an actual team or anybody that's probably on that team in 2016. But like all of the guys I'm thinking, like Serrano, Roger Dorn, all of these things I'm thinking comes from Major League.
I mean, I don't know baseball, so I can't tell you one player either. Not one. They have 2 World Series rings, kids, in 1920 and 1948. So it's been a minute.
Yeah. Boy, did I enjoy watching them lose.
I love this movie, dude. Like I said, I'm not a baseball guy, but I freaking love this movie. I think it's fantastic. I'm like you. I've seen a bunch, and you're right. It's on TV a whole lot.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. I don't get tired of it, man.
Classic
I guess
movie.
if I watch it every day, I don't know. I think it's still funny, man. I think it still holds up.
Yeah. I mean, not just one of the greatest baseball movies ever. I think it's one of the greatest sports movies ever. There's just something about like a sports movie where you get to follow like the underdog and like this ragtag team that figures it out. It's great.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? The cast makes it. We're going to get to the cast here in a minute. I just think the cast is what makes this. And, this idea of underdogs, the underdog sports movies are always going to work because I feel like it resonates with us as people.
Yes.
Like, it's hard to pull against the underdog. Have you ever pulled against the underdog unless it just happens to be your team? Like, I tend to gravitate to those teams that aren't expected to win. I tend to go, you know what? Let's see what they can do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that a big part of that is as somebody from the Midwest, it feels very Midwestern, like Indiana and just like this team that are like perpetual losers. I mean, that's kind of the story of a lot of like Midwestern teams. I mean, that's really everything that I just described about Chicago Cubs. White Sox as well. White Sox have had a long drought. They won. Chicago Bulls, an expansion team that nobody expected to ever be a thing until Michael Jordan came here and completely changed the face of basketball in the city.
Man, nothing much has happened since then, unfortunately.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about that. I mean, I've been a commiserating Chicago Bears fan for most of my life. It just, it just feels like there's something so Midwestern about this movie, and when I watch it now as an adult, that definitely comes across. Like the montage at the beginning, and you're supposed to understand that the fan base that becomes like enamored with this team, they're working class Cleveland folks, man. And there's something about like blue collar sports teams in the Midwest it just always works, and because it's just a mentality in the Midwest.
And I think you touched on something, but I think the working class, silhouette that's around this movie, I think it works for baseball. I think it works for hockey to a large degree.
Yes.
I don't know if I feel like it works for basketball and football. I guess it depends on the movie, but I don't know. Maybe you have a different perspective, but I feel like the world of baseball is just absolutely suited to the idea of working class players.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, because of course, it's such a big ensemble to baseball, and so
That's true. Yeah.
I think it lends more to these kind of movies where everybody has to play their role. It's harder for baseball to be centered around one guy.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah. I mean, the idea of one player putting a team on his back, is that even a thing in MLB, honestly?
Not really. It's a lot harder in baseball. Everybody's got to play their role. It's the same thing in football, like because it's such a big team. Everybody on like special teams or defense, they have to play their roles. Like you can't just win with one player. Like that's more of a thing that happens in basketball.
I agree with that. Yeah. But by the way, speaking of this story and speaking of the characters and everything, the plot of this movie is great. I'm sure it's not the first movie to do this, but I love it. And other things have happened since this movie, not just the franchise, but a good chunk of Ted Lasso does not happen without this movie because and I don't know if you ever plan on diving into Ted Lasso, so I don't want to ruin it for you, but a good chunk of the entire show, the entire series, season one especially, hinges, and they even take some lines from this movie because it fits so perfectly. But the idea of the owner is going to sabotage her own team because she wants to move from Cleveland to Boca Raton, Florida, to move to Miami. And they're going to give her like her own condo and, all this money. And, she's basically just going to cash out. Hates Cleveland, hates the weather. The place sucks, the stadium sucks, all this other stuff. I love the idea, man. I think it's such a great idea for a story. And again, it's been done since this movie.
Mhm.
But man, talk about the plot and how much this fits, man. I just think it's great.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that also adds to like the blue collar mindset of the team. Of yeah, it's this retired showgirl that inherits the team.
Yeah.
Um, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, this person with wealth, this person that's an authority figure, that's holding down like this underdog team that's just trying to show up and get a second chance. Basically,
Mm.
scabs. Like all these players that shouldn't have another chance in the league, but this is kind of their last chance. And I think a lot of people can connect with that.
Yeah, I agree for sure. By the way, kids, the owner we've been referring to is Rachel Phelps, and Margaret Whitten does a fantastic job playing her. I think I don't know that she's intentionally going for laughs, but buddy, she's great. As the team gets progressively better, watching her stew, and I'm telling you, man, I don't want to give it away for you, Phil, but a lot of parallels between this and Ted Lasso, especially because in Ted Lasso, the owner of the team also has an assistant and director of football operations, same as here. And just to watch that sidekick root for the team while the owner is intentionally trying to ruin everything is funny, man. It's great.
Yes. Yeah, she's fantastic. The scene where she comes down to the locker room and like she's like walking around, basically taunting all the players and basically like, yeah, you guys aren't getting any more money. Like you can complain all you want. You're not getting anything else. I'm not fixing this whirlpool. Like I don't care about none of that. She's great. Uh, I'm glad that they got rid of the alternate ending. I did not know about this alternate ending for years.
I don't think I know about this.
Apparently, there's an alternate ending where um she's the same thing happens. They make it to the division championship and they win.
Mhm.
And there's a standoff between her and the manager, and he's just like, yeah, we did it. And she's like, well, I was never gonna sell the team. Like this was all just a way to motivate you guys. But if you tell anybody that, you're fired. So it's basically trying to babyface her in the end and make it seem like all of this was a swerve. Like she really loves Cleveland. She really loves this team too. But she was just doing this to motivate people. I don't think that works. I think she works best as a villain.
Terrible. What a terrible idea that would have been. Yeah. Dude, she works much better as a villain. You're going to go undo everything you did for the entire film. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't think that would have worked. I'm glad they kept it as is. I got to be honest, man. I don't think I ever knew about this. All these years I've been a fan of this movie, I do not think I knew about the alternate ending. Yeah, they scrapped it because of test screening audiences preferred Phelps as a villain. Well, I'll say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good. It feels like they kind of overthought it.
Yeah. Like you said, you don't need to babyface her out. There's no sense in that. Yeah. Well, look, we talked about the cast earlier. I feel like again that's what got us here. I think that's why this movie was as successful as it was, why they pushed forward with the franchise, which we're going to mention. But there's mixed feelings on the sequels to this film, of course.
Oh boy.
I enjoyed part 2, but the rest, yeah, I got no time for the rest.
Yeah. Yeah. Very funny that the second movie kind of was like writing on the wall for what happened to this movie as a franchise. Like once something makes more and more money, then it just doesn't quite have that same charm.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, we will get there, but the characters. So Jake Taylor, he's the veteran catcher. He becomes the leader of this team. He's told very early on, "We want you to be the leader on the field." This is Tom Berenger. Tom Berenger is one of those, can do anything actors. He's very talented. He's very smart. He knows what character work is, but he also knows how to be a leading man. I thought he was great in this. I think he's equally good in part 2 because he steps up in his role in part 2. But man, I really enjoyed Tom Berenger in this movie. I thought he was the anchor while everybody else is being goofball and corny. He held it down. I thought he was great in this movie as Jake Taylor.
Yeah, I think he's a great straight guy for all of these wacky people around him. This wacky cast of characters, and he's just like straightforward, straight guy that has like a love interest. And they've got like the very 80s music playing for him
All the time. All the time, man.
when he's just trying to get his ex-fiance back, and he's like driving, following her in the car, and they're playing the slow romantic music for him.
So weird.
what a time capsule, man. If you didn't grow up in that era, it probably is confusing you, but like, yeah, at that time, yeah, you could not do a movie without that kind of song in the soundtrack. Like almost every 80s movie had it.
It was just so normal that to not do it felt abnormal.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking of so many like sports movies from that time period. Like they all had like a ballad.
Yeah.
Most of them had a ballad. Like even Teen Wolf, the movie's ending and they got the montage and they got that ballad playing when they finally win and Scott gets the girl.
Yeah. That's right.
But yeah, he's great here. I think he plays his role with the team very well. I think he does very well in the romantic scenes as well with Rene Russo.
I love when they call him. He's in Tijuana, passed out. He's like, "Is this you, Tolbert?" He's like, "The least you could do is pretend you're from the Yankees," and he just hangs up on him.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah. Great sports movie trope as well. Finding like this washed up guy that needs to come in and save the team. I mean, they just did that for Brad Pitt in the F1 movie. It's essentially the same trope.
Oh, it's true. I liked that movie. I can't say I loved it, but I liked it. Oh, it was pretty good.
I did enjoy it. I do think it's funny that that scene of them celebrating winning has become a meme online.
Right. And because of Hollywood magic, the way things work, this guy just managed to show up from out of nowhere, and this man just leave the same way. And I'm like, that's realistic, huh? you know,
Yeah. Of
but it's
course.
fine.
Of course, he's a hard drinker, washed up, but still is somehow in enough shape to be a pro ball player.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. They asked him early on how his knees are. It's like, never felt better. And I'm like, no, you're not getting younger, my friend. That'll come back around. And it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great, man. I thoroughly enjoyed him here. I think it's one of his best roles, honestly.
Yeah,
And
definitely one of his most memorable roles.
yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I agree. Totally. He's done a lot of dramatic stuff, of course, but I think this is by far one of his better roles. Can't get very far talking about this movie without talking about Ricky Wild Thing Vaughn. Going and using John Moxley's music. What's this kid thinking? This is Charlie Sheen, of course. Kids, if you're just joining us, Charlie Sheen's still with us.
Mhm.
Now, if you didn't know that, spoiler alert, but also, I'm not making it up. Somehow, Charlie Sheen is still with us. It's a good thing that he's still with us, but man, of all those young actors, at one time, Downey, we thought, yeah, Downey's not coming out of this. But then when Downey cleaned himself up, and now Downey is Downey. But man, there was a long time we thought Sheen was gone. But dude, he's great in this movie. His performance is very understated. And, if I say he's a tremendous actor in this movie, he's not really, right? There's not a lot of opportunity for him to get very dramatic here. But what he does is great. I think he fits the role. And at this point in time, he's absolutely Wild Thing, man. I couldn't imagine anybody else playing this part other than Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, for sure. Iconic role for Charlie Sheen. One of the most popular characters in this movie. Is among the pantheon of like popular sports movie characters. And I mean for good reason. I mean, everything about him just like his he's just cool. He's the coolest character here.
He
Like
is.
it's just something about him, man. And I don't think it's a exaggeration to say that this role is part of what put Charlie Sheen on the map. Charlie Sheen, of course, was a part of like a crop of young actors in the early '80s, and he had done movies before this, but like this is definitely one of his biggest claims to fame.
Yeah, he had he had several movies before this one. He was in Young Guns, so that had already
Of
happened.
course,
8 Men Out came out the same year as Young Guns. He was in Wall Street, huge role for him in '87. Ferris Bueller's Day Off was in '86, of course. Red Dawn in '84. His first movie was in '73. How you like that?
yeah. He did Lucas before this, right?
Lucas was in '85. He did, yeah.
Yeah. Of course, he's the young jock in that movie that gets the girl. Lucas is very, very inconsolable at the point that he doesn't get the girl, even
Yeah.
though Winona Ryder has a crush on him the entire movie.
Right. Man, I mean, we're here to talk about part one. I get it. But did you know that part two came out in '94?
Yes.
I mean, it was like 5 years later. Like, I know making movies takes time, and he did a bunch of acting in between. But, we just did the Sin City movies where A Dame to Kill For was almost 10 years after the fact,
Mhm.
I think. So 5 years shouldn't feel long to me, but for some reason, I don't remember it taking that long.
Yeah, I didn't remember that as well. Of course, I know that now in watching the movie for this and researching for this podcast.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have guessed that because 1989, I was probably 3 or 4 years old. So I don't remember when this movie was made. I just know that I've seen it enough times growing up. If you would have asked me before this podcast and doing any research, do I know when the first Major League came out? I would have probably been like '90s, and I would have got it wrong.
Right.
So, yeah, I did not know that they were 5 years apart either. But when you really think about it, and like some of the casting changes and things, and like it's not that out of the realm of possibility. It's not that hard to believe, but it does kind of seem like, wow, it took that long.
Well, for you, because you were younger, the two movies kind of felt back to back, I'm sure. Because,
Exactly. Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Because by the time I would see them all the time. A lot of times when they're on TV, they just play them back to back.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. It's worth mentioning, kids, that the Wild Thing character actually became a thing with the Cubs when this movie came out. Real life relief pitcher Mitch Williams
Mhm.
was inspired to model himself after the Rick Vaughn character. He started wearing number 99 and had Wild Thing played when entering games, surely under the nickname Wild Thing. In addition, the modern day tradition of relief pitchers, mainly closers, having their own intro songs was largely inspired by this film. Man, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, man. Look, probably better than the Cubbies song that I've never quite understood. But I'm not a Cubs fan, so it's not really for me to understand. But every time I hear this song, I'm just like, why do you guys like this? Like, it's everything. It's a certain mentality that the Cubs fans that you gotta either you're a part of it or you're not.
A lot of franchisers are like that, right? There's a lot of teams across the pond for English football, and a lot of teams have a song,
Mhm.
and it's considered the club's song, and they'll all sing along with it. And sometimes you're like, "That's your song?" Because I think Blue Moon or something is one of the team songs. I'm like, "How did this happen?"
Yeah,
Which there's always a story, man. That's the thing. There's always a story.
yeah. Nah, that year when the Cubs won that championship, I mean, that entire summer, go Cubs, go, go
Ah.
Cubs, go. I'm like, y'all not tired of this song? Quite get this, turn this off. um, but yeah, man. Again, iconic, man. Just like, and even when you think about, like you said, John Moxley earlier. John Moxley, of course, from Cleveland, from
Yeah,
Ohio, and for him to be the guy for AEW coming out to Wild Thing, it just makes so much sense.
I love
Um,
it.
but yeah, man, Ricky Vaughn in this movie, uh, the cool one, the one that has a great arm, can't
Yep,
figure it out until
yep.
just found out that he needs to wear glasses. Uh,
Right?
what a simple fix.
Yeah, they give him the glasses, make him look like an old woman, and it's like, after all, singing's the most important thing. It's like, I don't think it's that important. That's a great line. That's a
Yeah,
great line.
yeah, it's a very very iconic 80s trope as well.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of like every time they've done like the nerdy girl in one of these like 80s movies, and then they're like, well, take your glasses off and take your hair down, and all of a sudden she just becomes a babe.
Oh my God. Good call. Yeah.
Boink Studios YouTube is the home of Tom Clark's 6M podcast. Tom Clark's main event, Bear Mode, a podcast review of The Bear, and Two Nations Under Ted, a Ted Lasso podcast. Subscribe to the channel for archives that date back to 2014, with new content being uploaded every week. And check out boinkstudios.com for links to every podcast platform, social media, special announcements, and a lot more. Bookmark the site today.
Well, those are your two male leads. I would consider the two male leads. But as far as the rest of this team goes, kids, there's no lightweights here. Corbin Burnson is here as Roger Dorn. We've got Lou Brown, played by James Gammon. He's the coach. Best voice ever. And right? Like just the best voice ever, man. And
Yeah,
we've got Charles Cyphers as Charlie Donovan, the general manager. He's the one that's next to Rachel, as we said earlier. Chelsea Ross is Eddie Harris, the veteran pitcher who's got stuff all over his chest, which is freaking great.
yeah,
It's great. One of these days you'll do it too. Like he's just telling him, trying to warn him.
yeah. But yeah, man, I love that part about like the culture around baseball and like rituals and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a thing too. It's like what was the story back in the NFL? Like they'd take Pam and spray it on their jerseys so you couldn't grab them.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah, pretty sure it's illegal now, but I don't think it was at one point in time. See, we've also got Andy Romano as Pepper Leach, first base coach, and see, we got some other. We've got Duke Temple in here somewhere, and I've lost him. I'm saving two of the big ones, kids, and then we're going to circle back around because we got to talk about Wesley Snipes as Willie Mays Hayes, and of course Pedro Serrano, who is Dennis Haysbert. Serrano wants a bat. Like I'm telling you, to me, this is one of the best characters of all time. I don't know if he gets enough love. William Mace Hayes' character is great, but I love Pedro, man. There's just something about this guy. I think you could have built an entire movie around him, and I'm not playing. I think it would have been tremendous. A spin-off with him, I think would have been great.
Yeah, yeah. I'm with you when you say like James Gammon, what a voice. As Bill
Right?
Brown. Like every time I think about him, I think about him in a hospital in Major League Two. And it's like,
Yes.
way to go, guys! Y'all got it. Come on, Ricky.
Yeah.
But yeah, like man, Wesley Snipes in this movie, like this was one of the initial roles to me, right up there with like White Man Can't Jump, like
Yeah.
effortlessly cool, like just I don't care what Wesley Snipes does, he just has an aura to him. Like he, like when you think of like a movie star, I like he's in that echelon of guys I think about. Like this guy's a movie star. This guy is meant to be on the big screen. Like again, I don't care what the guy does. He's just effortlessly cool, man.
He is.
So yeah, him being like this hotshot baseball player that is just like uber athletic, can outrun everybody else, can do all of these great things, splits and all these things, but can't hit a ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's great. But yeah, Serrano, man, he's again one of these wacky characters in this movie, and he's just the right amount of wacky and the right amount of heart. And he's just great. A lot of the most memorable stuff from this movie is from him because he's so funny in this movie. And when you think about this actor and everything else he's done, like 24, some of his more dramatic roles, Waiting to Excel, and all these things, Allstate commercials, it's such a divergent from this, and he's so funny in this movie.
He's great. Like the whole Joe Booth thing with the rum. And when he gets nose to nose, with Eddie, it's like very bad to take Joe Booth's rum. It's very bad. Like nose to nose with him scares the living life out of this guy. Crazy, man. It's so awesome. And like when they kept checking for the red tags and his shtick became more and more ridiculous till the point that he had a massive hat on and a huge snake, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I can't unsee the goof because he's like drawing a circle on the front of the door and then he like draws a cross over it. But when he opens the door, the cross isn't there. The circle is just there.
Oh my God. Don't you hate when the edits are wrong? It
I,
sucks,
I
man.
can't unsee it, man. Every time I see it now, I'm like, wait, the door looks different.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's so funny. All the way up to him having his moment where he hits the big home run. Just man, just the journey of all of these characters and everybody getting to a point where they played their role all the way up to the end. It's just perfectly done. Everybody's character development works.
Yeah, everything works. They like you said, role players in baseball, 100% well said, because they all end up working together. They all find a way to get over themselves and get over their differences. And that takes me back to Corbin Burnson as Roger Dorn. I love how each character, Phil, you can't say that one character is just like another. Each character has his own unique personality. Like, Taylor is not like Vaughn, and Vaughn is definitely not like Dorn, and Dorn is absolutely not like Pedro. Like they're all individual personalities. But Corbin Burnson, again, don't know if anybody else feels this way. I think he's underrated. And at one time, Corbin was hot shot on LA Law. That's going back several years. But man, he's so good in this movie. He's really good in the entire franchise. But man, he's just the cocky and arrogant, like he's the pro. But Phil, he does just enough to be a baseball player, but he's not going to break his neck to win because he's already been paid. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, he is on a team where you're rooting for all the rest of these guys. Everybody is protagonist in this way. He's kind of an antagonist in this movie because he's not the villain of the movie, but he does so many things that makes him unlikable.
He does.
And so when he does like have the moment with Vaughn at the end of the movie, it's so much more rewarding because he's such a jerk for the entire movie.
Yeah. Like in the end, how's he gonna get mad at his wife for cheating on him? I mean, how many times has this guy slept around his wife, man? Be honest.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
mean, yeah. Even him getting his comeuppance and all these things happening because he's like I said, he's such a jerk. I mean,
Yeah. I love every time Eddie starts talking about Jesus. He goes, "Oh my God!" He just rolls his eyes, tries to leave the room, and man, the dynamic between Eddie and Serrano is freaking wonderful. When he's sitting there talking about voodoo, one of the most quotable lines of all time, because he's sitting there and he's like, you might want to think about taking Jesus Christ as your savior instead of messing with all this voodoo crap. And Pedro's like, Jesus, I like him very much, but he no help with curveball. And when he says, "You trying to say Jesus Christ can't hit a curveball?" Dude, that pops me every time. I don't know
hilarious.
why. It's such a great line, man. I've repeated that in other places many times through the years, man. I love their dynamic. I think it's awesome.
Hilarious. Yeah, there's something about that scene of like um, Charlie Sheen, Wesley Snipes, all of these guys like standing around Serrano's locker and looking in the locker. Just
Yes.
that image of all of them like looking in a locker. It's just like when I think about this movie, I think about it quite often.
It's so good. And Snipes, using a little green snake, doing the same thing to check his locker for a red tag.
Yeah,
Oh, it's great.
yeah. When they come in the first time and they're all opening their lockers and he's like, yeah, well, you don't over celebrate. Don't this might be somebody else's day where they
Yeah,
get
yeah.
kicked off the team. So don't celebrate in anybody's face. And so Mays, he makes the team and he goes all the way outside and dances.
Yes. I love when he opens the locker and he's like trying to sneak up on the locker. And when he doesn't see a tag, he goes, eh. Like he keeps it in when he wants to scream. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Best thing ever. Yeah. Yeah. I just, like you said earlier, I agree. Snipes is just freaking wonderful here. I just can't imagine. And it's a shame he didn't come back for part 2. We can talk about that later. But yeah, freaking crazy. We mentioned earlier one guy we couldn't find. Steve Yeager played Duke Temple. Steve Yeager was actually a former Major League Baseball player. And buddy, when you see Temple, does he not feel like a real baseball player? I've always thought he was, and sure enough, he was.
Yes.
Very cool. Spent 14 years in the big leagues. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I think everybody just kind of worked along here famously. We can't not mention the late, great Bob Uecker. Dude, again, this is one of those quotable movies. And I mentioned Ted Lasso. They do this in Ted Lasso when Euchre goes just a bit outside. Man, again, Phil, it's one of those most highly quotable lines because when he says that, the pitch is wildly out of control. It is great. Great moment. Yeah. Bob Uecker became a huge personality, man, outside of baseball. Like he did everything.
Mhm.
Like what a career that guy had, man. Like nobody can hate on that. And he seemed to be like generally be a good guy. I don't know if anything weird ever came out about him. Hopefully not. But yeah, man, he made the scene and he was movies and I think TV shows and did all kinds of press and had a huge career outside of baseball, man.
Yeah, man. He is a big part of the character of this movie as well.
Yeah.
Um, man, he has so many funny moments in this movie. Um, yeah, and I think that he's also a part of the Midwestern mentality that I mentioned earlier. Of
Mm,
course, he ended up being an announcer from Milwaukee, and it just makes all the sense in the world. Like I'm telling you, there's so much about this movie that feels like, you know, Midwestern blue collar baseball, and I think that's a big part of like the appeal of it. That's the big part of like what makes it special. And man,
yeah.
he's tremendous here, man. Like I just cannot think of this movie without him.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I love when Euchre's up in the box and he's calling with the guy that's beside him. And as the season wears on, it's getting harder and harder to call these games. And this before they start turning it around. He's like, 1 hit. That's all we got. 1 GD hit. The guy's like, you can't say GD on the air. And he's like, oh, don't worry. Nobody's listening anyway.
Yeah, he's so funny. He's even funnier in the second movie.
He is.
He's even funnier in the second movie, man. And I mean, we're not talking about the second movie, but there's so much that adds to the second movie that makes it even funnier. Randy Quaid in the stands, man.
Yeah.
Will never not be funny to me.
Yeah, I don't know the answer. Maybe the answer is that they just didn't cast him. But it's interesting that he's in like part 2 forward, I think, but he wasn't in part 1. Interesting.
Yeah. He's not in part 1. But yeah, he's so funny in the second one, and he's such a big part of the second one.
Yeah.
That when you think of this franchise, you would assume that he was there from the beginning.
It's true. Yeah, you kind of forget he wasn't there. Die Hard Night. When Harry Doyles was the character that Euchre played, kids. Just a reminder, fans, coming up is our Die Hard Night here at the stadium. Free admission to anyone who was actually alive the last time the Indians won a pennant. That's a great line, man. Because again, it's going back a ways.
So funny.
Yeah. I don't want to skip all the way past Lou Brown. Because as we said, we put Gammon over. He's freaking wonderful. Like, I love the bit when, Dorn is upset because he's having him do calisthenics. And he shows him his contract. And when Brown pees on it and they both stare down at the same time, I'm like, why are you both staring down at the same time, man? It's awesome.
It's like Dorn is looking in like complete shock at like what's happening. He's like, wait, did he just whip it out and just pee in front of me? Like he's just like looking down the whole time, like what? Yeah, it's hilarious.
They look down and then look at each other and then look down again. Like that classic comedy trope of we have to look and then look back, Lou Brown just feels, I mean, this guy was an actor for a long time. And, we've lost several members of this cast are no longer with us. And Gammon's one of them. But, he played a cowboy and he had a huge career, did a lot of other stuff. But, man, every time I see that guy in anything, I just think of Lou Brown every time. Coach of the Toledo Mud Hens.
Of course, it has that same vibe of other classic baseball movie, Bad News Bears.
Yeah.
Like when you think of like Bad News Bears and like this guy that like got this ragtag team together and has like notoriously like famous actor, another guy with like a unmistakable voice in Matt Bell. And so like when you think like baseball movies, like, yeah, it just feels like, yeah, he's another one of those tropes. Grizzled guy that managed to get this team together.
And by the way, Toledo Mud Hens is a real team. Isn't that fun? Isn't that great? I didn't know that. That's really fun. I don't want to skip past Rene Russo. It kind of felt like if you wanted a hit, and in the mid 80s, early 90s, you called Rene Russo because like she's very good, okay, and she like more than held her own with Behringer in this movie, man. And I know she's in part 2, but she's very, very limited time in part 2. But she had quite a bit of time in this movie, man. She's really good.
Yeah, very beautiful. Rene Russo has been the love interest in several movies.
Yes.
But she is great here. Listen, man, I know that this ends up working out for Taylor. Don't follow women around, guys. It's okay.
Don't follow women around. This should not have worked out for Taylor.
No. Don't follow women to work and then follow them home, guys. Like, that's probably not the best strategy.
In 2025, this ends up with an arrest and a restraining order, okay?
Yeah. Look, I know that this movie makes it romantic and, like, yeah, he finally chases her down and, like, he continues. He's persistent until, like, he gets the girl. But, yeah, maybe not. Don't do that in real life.
He just steps into that apartment like he owns the place. I'm like, And I love that the girl is sitting there hitting on him the whole time. That's the best part.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, the current fiance is like, yeah, stay away from her. It's like, dude, we would have had a problem when he came in the door.
Right. Yes.
He invites him in, like, yeah, come on in, like, have a beer. Like, no, we'd have had a problem when he came in there. Like, what are you doing here?
Yeah. Yeah. Completely. Yeah. We mentioned the baseball element here, kids. There were other players involved here. Pete Vukovich played Haywood, and he played in the big leagues as well from 75 to 86. Played for the Cardinals, was one of the teams he played for. And an uncredited performance by Willie Mueller, who's also in this movie.
Mhm.
And he played in 6 major league games. He was Duke Simpson. And yeah, man. So another 2 Dukes in this movie. Very odd.
Yeah, Duke was a popular name in a lot of sports movies.
That's a good point. I don't know if I ever put that 2 and 2 together, but yeah.
Very popular name in sports movies. Has been used
Yeah.
in multiple sports movies. Also, the 80s vibe of this movie. I can't unsee this 80s aesthetic for the love interest. Big baggy jean jacket, curly hair. It makes you think like Elizabeth Shue,
Yes.
of course, from fame at that time at Back to the Future. Of course, Karate Kid as well. Like, it just was an aesthetic for the love interest at that time.
Well, let me tell you something. Everybody out there who did not grow up in the 80s, this is absolutely how girls dressed. Okay.
Yes.
This isn't just movies. Acid wash was a thing. I may have had a pair of acid wash jeans. Do not judge me. And I may have had a pair of button fly jeans that I had to save up to buy. Also a true story. By the way, button fly jeans is a horrible idea. Horrible, horrible idea. They do not come in handy when you have to go very quickly. Do you know what I mean? Not a great idea.
Yeah.
So just throwing it out there. But again, like you said earlier, man, a lot of 80s vibes at this.
Tom Clark's 6M podcast is sponsored in part by Radius Law Group. Every day, Radius helps individuals, families, small businesses, and nonprofit organizations throughout North Carolina, Florida, and Pennsylvania resolve their legal issues by providing effective legal counsel in the areas of estate planning, as well as elder law and Medicaid. Radius Law holds the radical belief that working with a lawyer can indeed be enjoyable. So give them a call at 1-800-519-5667 for more information and tell them that Tom Clark's 6M podcast sent you.
Wesley Snipes, as it turns out, was not very skilled at baseball, never having played that much before. And Snipes apparently was so awful at throwing a baseball that they had no scenes of him throwing a ball.
Really?
Yes.
I would not
Isn't
have
that
guessed
crazy?
Because, I mean,
Man,
he looks the part and everything else he does.
right?
I mean,
Man.
incredibly athletic, in great shape. I mean,
Yes.
the sports movies that he's done, he definitely gets us to believe this guy is an athlete.
Well, maybe he got better as time went on. Perhaps.
Yeah.
When the way he wins his spot on the team is great. Like they just take his entire bed and put it in the freaking parking lot. Man, left him out there. It's great. Shows up in that nice car, and you don't really get a story about what's this guy's background. Like, looks like he comes from money, or did he rent that car to make an impression? Yeah, we don't ever really find out about Willie Mays Hayes, man.
Yeah.
I love the character, though. I think the character is awesome.
Yeah.
By the way, the plot of this movie, Phil, don't know if you knew this. This is actually based on something that actually happened. Minnesota Twins owner Calvin Griffith, in the 1970s, during the planning stages of constructing the Metrodome Stadium, Griffith negotiated for an escape clause in the team's lease, which said that if the Twins' home attendance was under $1.4 million per season for 3 consecutive years, the team could be released from its contract and leave Minnesota. Like the Phelps character, Griffith let equity players depart via free agency and use cheap, inexperienced rookies and has-beens. The Twins lost 102 games in their first year in 82, 92 games a year after, with attendance under 900,000 each of those seasons. A group of investors from Tampa bought 42% of the team, and the Twins were on the verge of moving to Florida. To many fans, it appeared that Griffith had weaseled the escape clause into the contract and set up the roster so he could put it into practice. Situation was avoided when Griffith sold the Twins to banker Cara Pollard. The Tampa group sold its minority stock back to Pollard, and the Twins remain in Minnesota. Man, I wonder if that's been fixed since then, Phil, because you would think that would have been very obvious what this guy was trying to do.
Wow. Yeah. You definitely could not get away with that today.
I don't think so, right? You think that they would have put some kind of restriction on that, man, at least.
I'm pretty sure they probably have.
Yeah. This is good, too. During the 2016 baseball season, real-life Cleveland Indians players Jason Kipnis and Mike Napoli acquired 2 Joe Boo statues, set them up in a shrine in the team's locker room. They initially placed an offering of vodka in it, but then switched to rum, resulting in a 6-0 victory over the Tampa Bay Rays in June. In July, they even sacrificed a supermarket chicken to help and teammate Jan Nome's slump. Oh, my God, that's great. He's like, well, here you go. 1 whole chicken like you wanted. It's a bucket of KFC.
Yeah. Yeah. That time period, too, the KFC bucket from the 80s.
Right? Classic bucket, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Classic bucket.
It's so funny, like, now that I think about that, like, also old, because at that time period, like, man, that was a thing to do. Go get a bucket of KFC on a Sunday. It's not really as notable now, but like at a certain time, like that was just like KFC was a big deal. Like Luther Vandross famously did like one of the jingles for KFC. It became such a big thing. Now I'm on a tangent. It became such a big thing for KFC. And I can't remember which comedian made fun of was it Eddie Murphy? Made fun of Luther Vandross for his like weight. And so he saw him in a crowd at one of his shows, and he brings out a giant bucket of KFC and actually sings the jingle at his concert. What a moment.
Oh my God. What a good sport, you know? Yeah. I don't know how they do things up there in Chicago, Phil, but buddy, in years past, when a funeral happened, somebody was bringing KFC to the
Absolutely.
house. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
Every
time.
It could be a Southern thing because a lot of my family here in Chicago are from the South.
That's right. Yeah.
So that might be part of it. I don't know.
I was definitely a part of many KFC purchases over the years. And this is terrible to say, but I suddenly had a memory. I was a kid and we lost somebody. It was an aunt or someone who had been in poor health. You know, again, I'm a kid. Don't nobody hold this against me. I hadn't ate the entire day. No breakfast. It was going on late that evening, very late that evening. When that KFC rolled in, I thought, I got to play this cool, man. I can't go attack that bucket, but good God, I wanted to go attack that bucket. Do you know what I mean? Like, you got to be careful, man. Don't want to make it look bad, but holy Lord. I don't know why they just jumped out at me. Well, look, kids, the reason this movie works, and we've touched on it here earlier in the show, I think this movie has universal appeal. Sports films tap into underdog stories, teamwork, redemption, themes that resonate deeply with us on a very personal level. And don't know why that is. Again, as I said at the beginning of this show, you know, I'm not a baseball guy, but this movie connects to me in some weird way. And there's moments when the crowd cheers, and dude, when Behringer points to the stadium like Babe Ruth, I get chills, and it's a stupid comedy film, but I get them every time. I don't even know why. It's one of the best moments of this entire movie, man.
Yeah. That and of course, Vaughn coming out to pitch at the end of the game. I mean, look, it's a sports movie. You're gonna have montages. The montages are what they are in this movie. They're great. But like the end of this movie, and sports movies always do it because the underdog always has to get down to a point where it doesn't feel like they can win, and then they get this miraculous win. So when they start the run, started with Serrano's home run, and then of course Vaughn comes out there and strikes the guy out, and it's the this culmination of everything for Vaughn throughout the movie. So when he comes out, you have this great moment of Wild Thing playing and the entire crowd singing it. Like just how loud it is in there when he comes out.
Great.
It's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, and dude, there's scenes of this movie. They had over 20,000 extras. Long before CGI, you could just pop phony people in. 20,000 living, breathing people in the stands. To the point that when the team would take the field and the crowd knew it was time to cheer, that Dennis Haysbert talked about getting overwhelmed emotionally. And like they had a former major league player and advisor on set. This was Yeager that we mentioned earlier. And he said he told him that's what it's like 162 times a year.
Yeah. Crazy. I mean, yeah, just following, and that's part of the magic of this movie as well. Of like at the start of this movie, when the games are happening, and like there's nobody at these games.
Right. Yes, it's empty.
The stands are empty. You got like a few people out there. You have the guys in Indian outfits and everything, Native American. Sorry.
Yeah.
You have them out there in the Indian garb and stuff, and then you get all the way to the climax of this movie, and like this building is rocking, man. Like I said, when Wild Thing plays and Vaughn comes out there, it's like incredible. The atmosphere is amazing.
I love how, as people in the town start to believe in the team, that the two Asian groundkeepers are like, they're still crappy. It's so good. They're still not on board.
Yeah, I mean, man, the bar scene and how people connect with Vaughn, and like it really brings the city together.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to not connect with that. Like I said, as somebody that's from the Midwest, I know it's a universal thing for a sports team, but
yeah,
just the way that just certain teams here, because don't get me wrong, like as a Chicagoan, it kind of feels like every other Midwestern city around us, like we have like a rivalry with them. Like famously, don't like Milwaukee, don't like Green Bay Packers, don't like Indiana, don't like the Indiana Pacers, hate Detroit, hate the Detroit Pistons. But I think we all have this shared experience of, the Midwest is really looked at as like this like redheaded stepchild next to like the East Coast and the West Coast, because the two biggest cities in the country are either on the East Coast or the West Coast, New York or LA. And so if you're from the Midwest and you're from a Midwestern city, there's just such a different pride that comes along with it. And so when the team finally, like a team from one of these Midwest cities is good, there's a way that the entire city galvanizes around them.
Yeah.
And it's special, man. It's just, I mean, I guess some people that aren't from like a Midwestern city, they're probably listening to it like, well, that just happens in every city. But I'm telling you, it's different if you're from here.
I agree with that. And, I'm surrounded by trees and grass, man. I'm not surrounded by high rise and, skyscrapers where I'm at. So I definitely know where you're coming from. That idea of, blue collar, working class guys working together for a common goal. I mean, I just think that's the biggest reason why this movie works. Not just the cast, but that the themes just hit home as much as they do. I think that's got a lot to do with it.
Yeah, I think the city of Cleveland is a big part of this movie.
Yeah,
it's a big part of like the culture around this movie.
Yeah. It's also worth mentioning, kids, that Charlie Sheen in high school was offered a baseball scholarship because the kid could throw 101 miles an hour.
Wow.
But for the movie, he got as high as 85. So when you see Sheen pitching, that's why it looks so believable, because he's actually on target, which is very cool. And by the way, he said he took steroids for this movie.
Yeah. That was in one of his more recent interviews. Yeah. Sheen's wild public image over the last decade or so has been a fascinating train wreck to watch.
Yes.
Like you said, I'm glad that he's still with us. But he was he was burning very bright at one point. I don't know if we all expected it to go that direction, especially because he comes from like a famous family, and his father's
Yeah.
not like that. His brother Emilio Escomes is not like that, and he is just like, I guess, like the black sheep of all this thing. Like,
It's true, man. Yeah. I mean, again, I'm glad he made it, but buddy, it's amazing that he made it. It's like, how in the world he's still here? I don't know. It's providence that he's still here. This movie has cultural impact, kids. I mean, this movie helps solidify a subgenre. Slightly absurd, lovable sports underdog movie.
yes,
Again, I don't know if we can point everything back to this, Phil, but it sure seems like a whole lot of stuff came after this.
absolutely. There are tons of movies, episodes of TV shows that are definitely influenced by Major League. I mean, I think about like the episode of Simpsons with the space with the baseball team. There's no way it's not influenced by Major League,
Yeah. The Replacements,
of course.
The Longest Yard, even though The Longest Yard was a remake.
Mhm.
Yeah, God, there's so many. We'd be here all day if we tried to name them all.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that idea. I really do. I love that it holds up. Like, the Native American stuff doesn't hold up too well. And part two doesn't hold up because of the Asian player. It's a
Yeah.
little touchy.
Yeah, the whole Native American mascot and sports thing. Yeah, it's a touchy subject, and you know, especially with something like the Indians, when you haven't outright have the mascot with a red face.
Yes, jeez.
It's yeah, it doesn't hasn't aged that great.
Well, they're the Guardians now, right? Cleveland Guardians.
Yeah, of course the Washington Redskins also not a thing anymore.
Yeah,
Washington Commanders, but like again, these are mascots with that are portraying Indians with red faces. That's
yeah,
absolutely offensive. Um, I've taken some pride in being in Chicago, and the Blackhawks mascot does not have a red face. It's still very touchy having a Native American mascot, but at
sure.
least the Blackhawks have worked with like actual Native American organizations, and so there's a bit of sensitivity there, but it's just still such a touchy subject.
Yeah, and like, people are passionate about sports, and I get it to a certain degree. But at the end of the day, if your team's name changes, I don't know why. I just don't know why you're gonna go rage on Twitter. I guess
Yeah,
to each his own, Phil. I don't get that. I like it's just a name. Like, what's it matter? I don't know.
yeah, and doing stuff like going to these games in Native American garb and like putting red face on. No,
Yeah,
shouldn't
dude.
be doing that. I don't
No.
think you should be wearing somebody's culture as a costume.
Thank you. God, well said. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, look, before we leave, kids, we talked about what came after. We have to touch on it just a bit. We know that Major League Two came in '94. We may actually cover that here on the show. Don't know that we'll cover part three, Major League Back to the Minors, which was in '98. Back to the Minors, it says. Jeez, I never did. You ever see part three?
I have not.
Yeah, I don't.
It's yeah, it's in that conversation of sports movie sequels that we kind of don't talk about, like Rocky 5.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. You could see a very definite, like part one on the graph is quite shocking. Part one is way up there. Part two is halfway. Part three is in the gutter. Like at that point, Phil, you've lost most of the cast, and
Yeah.
like you've always said, like the more these things make money, the more the studio wants to keep going with them, and that's absolutely true here. I mean, that's exactly what happened. We often talk about if something should keep going. I mean, you know what? You're not going to be able to top the magic of the first movie, but maybe enough time has passed. Like, do you ever revisit this? Do you bring Charlie Sheen back as a coach? Do you think you think that would work in the 2020s or no?
Well, I thought at one point they were talking about making a third movie that kind of moved past like back to the minors, and because didn't Charlie Sheen talk about it when he went on that crazy press tour?
He said a lot of things on that crazy press tour.
Yeah, I know, but I thought I remembered him saying that there were talks about doing Major League 3, and he was in talks about coming back.
I mean, I guess anything's possible. The reboot has been mentioned in 2017. Morgan Creek announced plans to reboot classic films from the 80s and 90s as a TV series or movies. And Young Guns was mentioned, Major League was mentioned, and so was Ace Ventura. But I don't know if anything's happened since then.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm that interested in a reboot, but I do know at one point there was talk about a third movie. I don't even know if I'm really that interested in a third movie after all this time, but I was trying to
Yeah.
remember. I thought sure Charlie Sheen mentioned it at one point. It
I
had
wouldn't
been
be
like
surprised.
around
Yeah.
2014 or something like that when he, like I said, when he went on that press tour with like Tiger Blood and winning and all these quotes that was everywhere at one point.
2010 was around the time that all that started happening. In 2010, it was reported that a Major League 3, which was going to basically skip over back to the minors like it never happened.
Yeah.
It was going to bring back the original writer and producer and bring back the cast, including Behringer and Sheen, both. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I'll be honest with you, man. I think enough time has passed that you can't touch part one. Part two is good in its own way, but part one is great. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think you can really screw up part one. Honestly, it is. I think part one can stand alone and it's fine. I think there's a story to be told with Charlie Sheen being brought in as the coach of the Cleveland Indians or the Guardians, whatever we're calling them now. Like, I think that could be a story. But, you know, and honestly, in this day and age of continuing franchises, I think it makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, I think there's something you could do there. Might be diminishing returns at this point, but could be good.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'd be interested to see how it would look, but who knows if we'll ever get there.
Yeah,
As we,
I mean, yeah,
yeah,
crazier things have happened. We got Cobra Kai, and that
that's
was a
true.
success. I think you could do something similar to Cobra Kai, like even if you just brought him back and just did something that was like straight to Netflix or something.
You know, I still have not finished that show for the last season.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great show. You've
Yeah,
seen other things go to Netflix, like the Beverly Hills Cop sequel that I thought was pretty good for what it was.
yeah.
Definitely better than Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Oh, dude. Well, I've had a cold for 3 weeks that's been better than Beverly Hills Cop 3. I'm just saying, like, yeah, dude, really bad. As we said, kids, the first movie is widely loved. Sequels never quite captured same cultural magic, and despite mixed reviews for the sequels, the original Major League remains a touchstone for sports comedy films and underdog cinematic storytelling. You know what? I think this is as reliable of a film trope or a prototype as a comic book film, as a romantic comedy, you know, as a sci-fi time travel. I think this has got to be up there with, you know, you get the right story and the right cast and you're going to have a hit because the formula just works. When it works, it's great.
Yeah, listen, gotta also have like the right romance, the right ballad to add to this thing as well. I suppose.
It's very important, that ballad. Yeah, for sure. Well, there you have it, kids. There is the first Major League, and like I said before, we'll probably cover part two, but I wouldn't expect Back to the Minors to be covered here. And by the way, I think Scott Bakula is a great actor, but yeah, I just can't envision myself covering that third unofficial third movie, I guess. So, well, Phil, let's wrap this up. Let's get your last word on Major League.
Classic movie. There's a reason why it is talked about as much as it is. I want to almost say cult classic, but I don't even think it's just a cult classic. It's an extremely popular movie for a lot of
Yes.
good reasons. Can't go wrong with this. I don't care when you throw this movie on. It never really gets old, in my opinion. And it's coming from somebody that's not a big baseball fan. But it's just, man, it's just, you can't get much better than this. It's just such a great story. Very funny as well. Some iconic roles here. Fantastic cast. I've made fun of the ballad several times, but it's all part of the picture. It all fits together. It doesn't feel out of place now because it's all part of the stew.
It is all part of the stew, yeah. And you know what I got to say to that is the American Express card. Don't steal home without it. Isn't that great?
Yes.
It feels like an actual commercial, especially because Dorn is a terrible actor in the spot. Like, look what it's done for us. Like, he's horrible.
Yeah, I love that part aspect of it. That you would think this is everything that Dorn wanted at the beginning of the movie, of getting this endorsement, and the guy that nails it, that is perfect at it, is Hayes.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. Well, there you have it, kids. Remember, don't steal Joe Boo's rum. It's very bad. And, get the right glasses, be in style. If you haven't watched this movie in a while, man, hopefully we motivate you to go watch it because it's freaking great.
Yeah,
And
man.
again, as I said before, I've seen this movie a whole freaking bunch. And I'm watching it again as we speak. So, yeah, it's a classic. Everybody give it a shot. And, we'll come back for part 2 and we'll see how we feel because I haven't seen part 2 in a bit. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But kids, thanks as always for tuning in, for hanging out. We appreciate you very much. And be sure to come back next week for another brand new episode. But until then, that is Major League.
Hey, thanks for listening to the show. Check out our social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at 6M Podcasts. We'll see you next time.